The galaxy had long whispered about humans. Strange, fragile-looking creatures with no obvious superpowers, no advanced bioshields, no psychic abilities, yet stubbornly alive on a small blue planet at the edge of the Milky Way. Most alien civilizations ignored Earth. The humans were quaint, amusing but harmless. Yet the Council of Elders, representing the strongest galactic civilizations, gathered on their orbital platform above the gas giant Orithus. Elder Skora, a translucent being whose body shimmered with shifting colors, addressed the council. Reports indicate that humans have begun exploring beyond their system, Skora said, voice like vibrating crystal. Their technology is primitive. Their ships cannot withstand a standard plasma cannon. This mission, if it succeeds, is statistically impossible. Elder Vrel, a crustacean-like strategist with jointed limbs clicking as it moved, snorted. Primitive or not, curiosity can be dangerous. They may stumble into affairs they cannot understand. Meanwhile, in the Sol system, aboard the flagship Horizon, Admiral Elena Vance studied the vast stars through the panoramic bridge window. Her human crew bustled efficiently around her, preparing the ship for its first deep space mission. The Horizon was a marvel of human engineering. Sleek, adaptive, and armed with modular weaponry designed for unpredictability. "Admiral," said Captain Rami Torres, a young tactical genius, "we're approaching the edge of the system. Sensors detect multiple anomalies, gravitational shifts, energy spikes. Could be pirate activity, or worse." Elena nodded, her gaze steady. "Or worse. Keep shields on full. Let's see what the galaxy thinks of humans today." As the Horizon slipped into deep space, an alien reconnaissance fleet observed them from a nearby asteroid belt. Massive ships, gleaming with biometallic plating, glided silently, their sensors scanning the human vessel. The alien commander, a being called Clith, tilted its head. "Fragile-looking," Clith said. "Barely 10 meters thick in armor. No way they can survive even one volley of a plasma cannon." Yet the humans didn't panic. Instead, they did something unexpected. Elena ordered a sudden reconfiguration of the Horizon's energy distribution, diverting power to auxiliary engines and launching miniature drone satellites. The drones flitted like metallic fireflies, forming a shifting cloud around the ship. Clith's sensors misread it. "Shields? No, impossible. What are they doing?" Without warning, the Horizon darted through the asteroid field at impossible angles. Alien projectiles overshot, collided with asteroids and detonated harmlessly. The human ship moved with intelligence, predicting trajectories faster than the alien systems could compute. Elena's voice rang calm but firm over the comms. "We don't want war. Leave us be or you'll find humans harder to catch than you think." Clith blinked. A moment of hesitation, a rare emotion for its species. The humans were not just fast. They were thinking in ways the aliens couldn't anticipate. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, human colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan monitored transmissions. They saw the excitement and danger of the first encounter. "They always said we're fragile," said Dr. Celine Miles from Titan Station, eyes glued to a display showing Horizon's maneuvers. "But fragile doesn't mean weak. Watch them adapt. Watch them survive." Back on the Horizon, Admiral Vance gathered her officers in the strategy room. Holographic projections of the alien ships floated mid-air. "We're being underestimated," she said. "They assume we fight like everyone else. But humans, we think differently. Let's use it." Torres smiled, leaning forward. "We can't outgun them head-on. But we can outthink them. Set traps, predict their moves, exploit assumptions." The Horizon initiated a maneuver the aliens could not comprehend. It split into smaller autonomous units, a formation impossible for alien sensors to track individually. The humans struck at weak points, hacked into alien comms, and turned their weapons against each other without a single human ship being hit. On Aura, this Elder Skora's expression shimmered with disbelief. "Impossible? No species has ever adapted this quickly. They learn, they evolve, in minutes." Clith retreated. "They are not just survivors," it muttered. "They are predators." As the Horizon sailed past the outer rim, the crew cheered quietly, exhausted but exhilarated. They had survived the first test of interstellar threat, and in doing so revealed something the galaxy had not expected. Humans were not weak. Elena stared at the stars. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy thinks it knows humans, but we've barely started showing them who we are." Unseen across the galaxy, a network of spies, mercenaries, and alien diplomats began to whisper. Humans, small, fragile, underestimated, could be the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever ignored. The first battle had ended, but the war for recognition, survival, and supremacy was just beginning. The galaxy was a delicate web of alliances, betrayals, and ancient grudges. Every civilization guarded its borders, every system mapped, every move calculated. Humans, the so-called fragile ones, were now the newest anomaly in this vast equation. In the towering halls of the Galactic Council on Orithis, representatives of countless species debated the sudden appearance of the horizon. Elder Vrel banged its clawed limbs on the council floor. We cannot ignore them. Humans survive where no one else could. They adapt faster than any protocol allows. This is not natural. Elder Skora's shimmering body pulsed in thought. Our reports show human colonies expanding, uniting, and building networks beyond what any pre-spacefaring species could achieve in a millennium. If they reach full interstellar capability, they could upset the balance of power. Meanwhile, aboard the Horizon, Admiral Elena Vance studied the Council's projections displayed on her ship's holographic interface. The humans had intercepted communications from the Council, a risky operation that no alien species anticipated possible. Interesting, Elena murmured. They see us as a threat, but they don't understand us. They think they can manipulate us with fear or diplomacy. Captain Torres leaned forward. They probably think we'll negotiate. But humans don't negotiate from weakness. We negotiate from intelligence and advantage. Elena nodded. Exactly. We make the first move but on our terms. The Horizon's course shifted toward Zifra Prime, a lush, forested planet rich in resources but governed by the enigmatic Zifri Dominion. The humans knew it was risky. Zifra Prime was heavily defended, its orbital fleet second only to Orithis. But it was also a chance to demonstrate their strategic genius. As the Horizon approached Zifra Prime, a massive alien flagship descended, blocking their path. Its hull shimmered with bioluminescent armor, and weapons bristled across its sides. Identify yourselves, a resonant voice boomed in a language humans barely understood. Admiral Vance's calm tone carried across the translator. We are humans of Earth. We come not to fight but to observe, learn, and trade knowledge. Step aside and no harm will come to your world. Pause. The alien commander tilted its head. Your species is foolish. You are far from your homeworld. You cannot survive the orbital defenses. Leave or be destroyed. Elena's lips curved into a faint smile. Foolish? Perhaps. Brave? Certainly. But humans survive because we think differently. We will not leave. We will find a way through without unnecessary bloodshed. With a sudden command, the Horizon deployed a network of cloaked drones. They zipped through the alien fleet, projecting holographic copies of the Horizon in every direction. The alien sensors went haywire, unable to determine which ship was real. Cliff, the alien commander, hissed through the comms. Impossible. Their numbers? How can one vessel create hundreds? They manipulate perception. Elena replied, voice steady. We manipulate what we must. Observation, analysis, adaptation. Humans are masters of the unexpected. The Horizon slipped past Zifra Prime's defenses using calculated maneuvers that no alien protocol could predict. From orbit, humans scanned the planet, observing not just resources but social structures, communication patterns, and environmental systems. They learned everything about Zifra Prime without firing a single shot. On the surface, the Zifri scientists and diplomats were bewildered. No one had ever entered their orbit undetected. No one had ever bypassed orbital defenses so efficiently. One elder, a Zifri strategist named Vethal, whispered to his council, they are not just survivors. They are predators of circumstance. Every move is precise. Every action anticipates ours. Elena's voice cut through the comms again, this time in formal council protocol. We come with knowledge to share, solutions to challenges your world faces. Let us prove that cooperation with humans brings advantages no other species can provide. The Zifri Council debated feverishly. They feared humans, yet their curiosity was irresistible. The humans offered technological insights, ways to optimize energy grids, stabilize planetary climates, and enhance orbital communication networks. These were small gifts but profound. Vrel, back on Orithis, watched the intercepted transmissions with growing anxiety. They are not only surviving, they are negotiating from strength. Using intellect instead of weapons. They are dangerous. And danger, humans discovered, could be strategic leverage. Elena proposed a simulated exercise with the Zifri military, a mock fleet battle. Humans guided Zifri ships through complex maneuvers, demonstrating tactics that combined unpredictability, intelligence, and adaptability. The Zifri, initially skeptical, were astounded when their fleet won every scenario under human guidance. After hours of simulations, Vethal, the Zifri strategist, addressed the council. Humans, they do not rely on brute force. They anticipate, adapt, and innovate faster than any species I have known. They are not a race to underestimate. Back on the horizon, Elena allowed herself a brief smile. And that, my friends, is how humans begin to show the galaxy who we are. Captain Torres, watching the holographic map, added, "We've made allies, learned systems, and demonstrated power without firing a single shot. Let the Council see, humans are not just another species. We are a force of intelligence, strategy, and resilience." From Aura, this Elder Scorus glow dimmed with worry. If humans continue this, if they unite diplomacy with cunning, we may have underestimated the wrong species. And in the shadows of the galaxy, whispers began to spread. Ships, spies, and diplomats carried the story. Humans survived impossible situations, outmaneuvered advanced fleets, and turned fear into alliances. The galaxy was beginning to notice, and no one was prepared for what humans would do next. The first stage of human supremacy was complete. They had proven their cunning, adaptability, and intelligence were unmatched, without spilling a drop of blood. The next stage, the galaxy would learn, would test human ingenuity under fire, where cunning alone would not be enough, and the true apex capabilities of humanity would be revealed. The galaxy had begun to whisper, then murmur, then shout. Humans, once considered fragile, laughable, insignificant, were now the center of attention. But whispers alone would not ensure survival. Humans had drawn the attention of the Zifri Dominion and the Aura this council, and some feared that sooner or later, the galaxy's elite fleets would test humanity in force. And that day came faster than anyone expected. The horizon sensors picked up an approaching armada. Dozens of alien capital ships, sleek, deadly, bristling with weapons designed to vaporize planets. They belonged to the Varkesh, a warlike species renowned for ruthlessness and speed. No species had ever faced them in open combat and survived unscathed. Admiral Elena Vance gathered her officers in the bridge, her gaze steady. They think they can intimidate us. They think humans are weak. But the Varkesh have underestimated the wrong species. Captain Torres frowned at the tactical display. Their fleet is almost 10 times the size of ours. Even with superior maneuvering, we can't win by firepower alone. Exactly, Elena said. We won't. We'll win by thinking faster than they do. The horizon split into autonomous battle pods, each capable of independent movement and decision-making. The pods darted through asteroid fields, weaving like schools of fish, projecting false targets and holograms of the main ship. The Varkesh fleet opened fire. Plasma bolts streaked across the void, disintegrating asteroids and vaporizing holograms, but the horizon remained untouched. Humans had not only predicted the enemy's trajectory, they had manipulated it. A Varkesh warlord, claws clenching, hissed over the comms. You will not escape. Surrender your vessel or we will destroy you. Admiral Vance's calm voice replied, We do not surrender. Humans survive by adapting. We do not fight like you, we fight differently. You will see soon enough. As the fleet advanced, the horizon launched intelligent drones that latched onto enemy ships. These drones were more than weapons, they were spies. They infiltrated systems, gathering data on engine capabilities, shield weaknesses, and weapon ranges. Within minutes, human engineers aboard the horizon calculated the optimal strike points, targeting weaknesses the Varkesh did not even know they had. Then Elena gave the order. Initiate Phase 1, Precision Disruption. Pods darted in, firing coordinated bursts at engine junctions, shield emitters, and weapon arrays. The Varkesh ships faltered, their formations breaking apart as if choreographed by an invisible hand. Humans were not merely attacking, they were orchestrating chaos. Torres, his hands moving over controls like a pianist, muttered, They'll never see the second phase coming. Phase 2 was audacious. The Horizon's main ship projected a massive decoy, indistinguishable from itself, drawing the Varkesh fleet into a narrow asteroid corridor. Hidden within were human strike pods, waiting like predators in ambush. As the Varkesh pursued, the pods struck from multiple angles, exploiting every vector. Shields collapsed, engines flared, and communication lines fried. The aliens had faced no enemy like this, a species that predicted, adapted, and struck with surgical precision. And yet, the humans were not without risk. A Varkesh dreadnought, larger than any Horizon pod, broke through the defense line, its plasma guns tearing toward the main ship. Elena gritted her teeth. Evasive maneuvers, now. The horizon twisted, accelerated, and the dreadnought overshot. Simultaneously, one of the cloaked pods launched an electromagnetic pulse, disabling its systems. Humans had turned raw intelligence into a weapon. Across the galaxy, the Zifiri watched transmissions of the battle in awe. Vethal whispered, "They are not just surviving, they are teaching the galaxy a new form of warfare. Humans fight with mind, calculation, and cunning, not just metal and fire." Clith, observing from the aura this council, paled in translucent fear. "This is impossible. No species has ever adapted so fast. They think 10 steps ahead, we cannot predict them." The horizon launched its final maneuver, a sudden jump through a gravitational anomaly, appearing behind the remaining Varkesh ships. The humans struck simultaneously at weak points identified by their drones. In minutes, what should have been an annihilation of humans turned into a resounding victory for them. The battlefield fell silent. Not a single human ship was destroyed. The Varkesh limped away, stunned and humiliated. Their warlord swore vengeance, but even he could not comprehend how a single species, previously dismissed, had outmaneuvered an entire fleet. Admiral Vance surveyed the aftermath. "They assumed we were fragile. They assumed we were predictable. Humans survive not because we are strong, but because we are clever, adaptable, and relentless." Torres added quietly, almost in awe, "They've seen humans for what they are now. They'll think twice before underestimating us again." But victory came with its own weight. Across the horizon, crew members repaired damaged pods and systems. Humans cheered quietly, but there was a sense of gravity in the air. The galaxy had noticed. Humans were no longer the weak species at the edge of the Milky Way, they were a force to be reckoned with. Admiral Vance turned to her officers, her eyes fierce and proud. This battle was not the end. Was a lesson. The galaxy will test us again, and we will show them that humans do not just survive. We thrive even against impossible odds. And somewhere in the void, across systems, spies and observers whispered the same words. The human ship that no alien could stop may not just survive the galaxy. It may dominate it. The first true test of human warcraft had been won, but the next challenge, the full scope of interstellar politics, alliances and betrayals, was already waiting. The victory against the Varkesh had made humans legendary overnight, but survival in the galaxy required more than brute cunning or battlefield brilliance. The galaxy was a web of politics, alliances and betrayals, where even a single misplaced word could ignite war. Humans, now noticed and feared, had to navigate this treacherous terrain with the same ingenuity they applied to battle. The horizon sailed toward the neutral expanse, a sprawling region where no single power held sway. It was here that humans intended to establish their first interstellar embassy, a bold move that startled many alien factions. Admiral Elena Vance gathered her senior officers in the strategy room. Holographic projections of alien worlds, fleets, and council halls rotated mid-air. "Diplomacy is a battlefield too," she began, her voice measured. "The Varkesh retreat today, but tomorrow they will regroup with allies. The aura this council will not sit idly by as humans rise. Every decision, every word we speak will be analyzed, exploited, or weaponized. We cannot make a single mistake." Captain Torres leaned over the table. "We need leverage. Something tangible that proves humans are indispensable. Technology alone won't convince them, they've seen what we can do. But strategy? That they understand." Elena's eyes gleamed. "Then we give them a puzzle only humans can solve. One that reveals our brilliance without threatening them openly. A test of intellect, judgment, and foresight. If they fail, humans win by demonstration. If they succeed, we gain allies who respect our methods." The first challenge appeared faster than anyone expected. A fleet from the Zarvok Syndicate, a shadowy organization controlling interstellar trade, attempted to blockade human access to critical wormhole routes. Their admiral, a massive creature of chitin and eyes that reflected starlight, demanded submission. "Leave the expanse, humans, or face destruction," the Zarvok commander growled through comms. Elena's lips curved into a faint smile. "We do not leave. Humans solve problems differently. Watch closely." The horizon deployed a network of autonomous decoy ships into the wormhole approaches. The Zarvok fleet, expecting straightforward engagement, pursued them eagerly, only to find themselves trapped in a labyrinth of gravitational anomalies, sensor distortions and human-devised energy traps. Meanwhile, hidden drones accessed Zarvok comms and intercepted a coded message intended for other syndicate branches. Within minutes, human analysts decoded trade routes, black market contacts, and supply chains. Elena's plan was audacious: disarm the fleet without firing a single lethal shot, then turn intelligence into leverage. Torres whispered, almost in disbelief, "They're not expecting us to manipulate systems and politics at the same time." The Horizon's pods executed precise maneuvers, disabling engines and neutralizing weapons with electromagnetic pulses. The Zarvok ships were trapped but unharmed. Elena then sent a communication. "We do not destroy. We teach. Cooperate with us, and the Syndicate gains knowledge and protection beyond any other species. Resist, and the galaxy will see your failures exploited by rivals." The effect was immediate. Zarvok officers, previously arrogant and confident, were forced to negotiate. Human logic, precision, and intelligence had created a battlefield of minds rather than weapons, and the Syndicate had no choice but to accept terms. In the neutral expanse, alien diplomats observed these events in shock. The Zifri strategist Vedhal commented, "They are not just fighters or diplomats, they are masters of influence. Humans turn every situation, every disadvantage into opportunity." Back aboard the Horizon, Elena prepared for the next stage, the Galactic Council Summit, where humans would be officially recognized as a new power. It was a delicate dance. Humans were outsiders, and many factions feared their growing reputation. The Council expected the humans to overreach or falter. Elena briefed her team in the Council Chamber simulation room. Holographic images of Council members, each species with their own quirks, customs, and prejudices, floated in midair. "Our strength is not intimidation," Elena explained. "It's persuasion, innovation, and unpredictability. The galaxy knows we are strong. Now we must show that strength is guided by reason, not recklessness. One wrong word, one misstep, and they will unite against us." The Council Summit began in the luminescent hall of Orithis. Alien leaders eyed the humans with skepticism and thinly veiled fear. Elder Skora's form shimmered as she spoke. "Humans, your species has surprised us in warfare, in strategy, and in diplomacy. But can you integrate into the Council system? Can you prove yourselves worthy of trust, or are you merely a threat to the order we have maintained for eons?" Elena stepped forward, her posture confident but respectful. "We understand the galaxy has rules, traditions, and fears. Humans respect life and intelligence. But we do not cower from challenge. We offer innovation, solutions, and alliance. You may fear us today, but by cooperating we all gain strength." The summit erupted in heated debate. Some factions, still wary, proposed isolation or containment of humans. Others, fascinated by their victories, urged cooperation. Then Elena revealed a galactic simulation of an impending supernova threatening multiple systems, including Orithis and Zifra Prime. Human calculations suggested a way to divert the energy using coordinated orbital maneuvers and energy redistribution, a solution no alien species could conceive in real time. The Council fell silent. Every species realized, humans were not only survivors, tacticians, and diplomats, they were problem solvers on a scale unmatched in the galaxy. Elder Vrel, once skeptical, muttered in disbelief, They think like the universe itself thinks. They see paths we cannot even imagine." Elena turned to her team aboard the Horizon. "We've done more than survive the battlefield. We've entered the game of minds and ideas. The galaxy will no longer dismiss humans as weak. From now on, every move we make will be watched, and every move we make will astonish them." From the shadows, spies and diplomats carried news of the humans' triumph through the neutral expanse. Whispered across star systems, the legend of the human ship that no alien could stop grew, not just as a tale of war but as proof of human ingenuity, strategy, and intellect. The next challenge awaited. Humans would have to face an all-out interstellar coalition, combining the fears and grudges of every alien race that underestimated them. But for the first time the galaxy knew one truth: humans could not only survive, they could outthink and outmaneuver the most advanced civilizations. The galaxy had noticed. Humans were no longer an oddity at the edge of space. They were a rising power, a species whose brilliance unnerved the most advanced civilizations. And when fear grows, it breeds alliances. The Orithis Council, the Zifri Dominion, and the Varkesh remnant fleets quietly convened, forming the first interstellar coalition, a unified armada designed to crush humanity before it could become a true threat. Millions of tons of warships, thousands of fighters, and devastating weapons gathered in the void of Sorith. Every species underestimated humans, until now. Aboard the Horizon, Admiral Elena Vance observed the coalition fleet with unflinching calm. The ship's hull glinted in the distant starlight, dwarfed by the alien armada. But humans had something no alien could calculate: adaptable intelligence and the courage to act unpredictably. Captain Torres stood beside her. They're massive. Even with our pods, drones, and decoys, they could crush us in a single volley. Elena's eyes scanned the tactical projections. Exactly why we won't engage them the way they expect. Humans survive because we think differently. Let's show them. The coalition fleet advanced, energy weapons igniting like ribbons of fire through the void. Cliff, observing from Oris, hissed, "One miscalculation and they are annihilated." Yet they do not flee. Elena gave her first command. Phase 1, divide and confuse. The Horizon deployed hundreds of autonomous holographic decoys, each mimicking the ship's energy signature, size, and maneuvering patterns. The coalition, expecting a single target, fired at phantoms. Explosions lit the darkness, but the Horizon remained untouched. Then Phase 2, systemic sabotage. Miniature drones infiltrated enemy vessels, silently hacking propulsion, weapons arrays, and shields. Within minutes, entire wings of the coalition fleet began misfiring, engines overloading, weapons turning against their own ships. The aliens had never encountered a foe capable of turning their own technology into a weapon against them. A Varkesh warlord roared in fury. "This is impossible. They are controlling our ships." Elena's voice over the comms was calm, almost gentle. Not control. Observation, prediction, and adaptation. Humans anticipate and humans survive. You are learning that lesson now. But the coalition was relentless. They adjusted, repaired, and advanced again. The Horizon could not simply outmaneuver them forever. Elena activated Phase 3, the trap of perception. Using gravitational anomalies in the nearby nebula, the Horizon lured the coalition fleet into a narrow corridor, surrounded by dense energy clouds that interfered with sensors. Hidden within were human strike pods and coordinated drone swarms, poised to attack from every direction simultaneously. Torres's voice was tense over the bridge. "Admiral, even this could go wrong. If one pod fails, they could focus fire and destroy us." Elena's expression hardened. "Then we ensure no pod fails. Humans do not retreat from risk. We calculate it and exploit it." The pods surged, striking with precision. Coalition ships found their weapons jammed, engines disabled, and formations broken. Human drones projected decoy ships, creating a sense of overwhelming numbers far beyond reality. Entire wings of the coalition collided, destroyed, or surrendered without firing. And then the unexpected twist. A Zifri admiral, previously skeptical, betrayed the coalition, secretly siding with humans. Using the Horizon's subtle diplomacy, Elena had anticipated this. Zifri ships blocked retreat paths, sealing the coalition fleet inside the energy corridor, leaving them no option but surrender or annihilation. From Aura, this elder Skora shimmered in disbelief. They predicted a betrayal before it even occurred. Their strategic foresight is frightening. The coalition commander, Claude and furious, realized too late. Humans, they are not like us. They do not react, they direct the reactions of others. Admiral Vance's voice echoed across the void. This battle was never about size, firepower, or intimidation. It was about intellect, foresight, and adaptability. Humans do not just fight. We orchestrate outcomes. As the dust settled, the Horizon remained unscathed. Coalition survivors surrendered or retreated, their pride shattered. Even among the victors, human crew members felt awe. They had faced overwhelming odds and survived, not by strength but by brilliance, innovation, and unity. The galaxy was now acutely aware. Humans were unstoppable not because of their weapons but because of their minds. In the aftermath, Elena addressed her officers. The galaxy has learned a lesson today. But there is more to come. Every civilization we face will now study humans, fear humans, and try to anticipate us. We must continue to innovate, adapt, and lead. The next challenges will not forgive mistakes. Captain Torres's voice was quiet but determined. They've seen what humans can do. No one will ever underestimate us again. Even far across the Milky Way, spies, diplomats, and alien news networks whispered the same words. The human ship that no alien could stop has just rewritten the rules of war in the galaxy. And in the shadows, plotting for vengeance, the remnants of the coalition swore silently. Humans had won today, but the galaxy was vast, and the final test of human supremacy was yet to come. The first coalition was shattered, but the war for recognition, influence, and survival was only escalating. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were architects of destiny, proving to every corner of the cosmos that ingenuity and willpower could triumph over overwhelming odds. the galaxy had noticed. Humans were no longer the quirky, fragile species at the edge of the Milky Way, they were a rising force, a species whose ingenuity unnerved the most advanced civilizations. Every council, every dominion, every warlord who had once dismissed Earth now whispered warnings. And fear breeds alliances. The aura this council convened in secret. The Zifri dominion sent emissaries. Even the remnants of the Varkesh fleets, humiliated after their earlier defeats, joined under one banner. The first interstellar coalition was born, a massive armada of hundreds of capital ships, thousands of fighters, and weaponry designed to obliterate a planet. Its sole purpose: eradicate humanity before it could rise further. Aboard the Horizon, the human flagship, Admiral Elena Vance studied the projection of the approaching armada. Its hulls glinted in distant starlight, a forest of metal and bioluminescence, dwarfing even the horizon in size. Yet the humans felt no fear, only focus. Captain Torres, his hands resting over the tactical controls, said quietly, "Admiral, they outnumber us 10 to 1. Even with pods, drones, and decoys they could crush us in a single salvo." Elena's eyes narrowed. "They underestimate humans. They always do. But we do not fight like they expect. Humans survive not because of size or firepower, we survive because we think differently. And we will use that to our advantage." The coalition advanced, plasma beams and energy lances cutting through the void, leaving trails of destruction across uninhabited asteroids. Cliff, watching from Oris, hissed, "One mistake and they are annihilated." Yet they do not retreat. They are arrogant. Phase 1 began, divide and confuse. The Horizon deployed hundreds of holographic decoy ships, each mimicking the Horizon's energy signature, size, and maneuvering pattern. Coalition sensors locked on the false targets, firing volleys that tore apart empty space. Humans watched calmly as their enemies wasted ammunition, their formations destabilizing. Phase 2, Systemic Sabotage. Miniature drones infiltrated enemy vessels, attaching to hulls, slipping into propulsion systems and overriding weapon arrays. Within minutes, wings of the coalition found themselves immobilized, engines flaring, weapons turning against their own formations. The Horizon's crew monitored every microsecond, adjusting tactics faster than the coalition systems could react. A Varkesh warlord, claws clenching, screamed across the comms. "This is impossible. They control our ships." Elena's calm voice replied, "Not control. Observation, prediction, adaptation. Humans anticipate outcomes before they even occur. You are learning that lesson now." The coalition recoiled, attempting to reorganize. Their numerical advantage was immense, but humans had already rewritten the battlefield. The Horizon then executed Phase 3, the trap of perception. Using gravitational anomalies in a nearby nebula, the Horizon drew the coalition into a narrow corridor. The energy clouds interfered with sensors, making the fleet blind to what lay hidden inside. Hundreds of hidden pods, each armed with precision EMP bursts and drones designed to exploit weaknesses discovered earlier. Torres, tense over the comms, whispered, "Admiral, even this is risky. One failure, one miscalculation, and the entire fleet could destroy us." Elena's eyes were fierce. "Then we calculate every failure before it happens. Humans do not flee from risk, we master it." The pod surged. Electromagnetic pulses fried shields. Engine systems malfunctioned. Weapons overloaded. Coalition ships collided with one another in confusion. The Horizon, using its decoys, moved freely through the chaos, striking at precisely calculated weak points. And then the unexpected twist. A Zifri admiral, previously skeptical, betrayed the coalition mid-battle. Human intelligence had anticipated this, planting subtle diplomatic cues over weeks. Zifri ships suddenly blocked escape routes, forcing coalition vessels into kill zones. Cliff, observing from Orith, shivered. They predicted betrayal, before it even occurred. Their foresight, it defies logic. The coalition commander, clawed and furious, realized too late. Humans, they do not react, they direct the reactions of others. Admiral Vance addressed the void, her voice calm but carrying authority. This battle was never about size, firepower, or intimidation. It was about intellect, foresight, and adaptability. Humans do not just fight. We orchestrate outcomes. Today you are learning that lesson. The coalition's remaining forces attempted a desperate breakout. Plasma torpedoes streaked across the nebula. Fighters darted in swarms. But the Horizon's pods, each independently calculating attack vectors, cut off escape routes. Drones projected holographic swarms, creating illusions of overwhelming numbers, further paralyzing the coalition's decision-making. Finally, in a coordinated strike, humans disabled the remaining capital ship's engines and weapons. The coalition, humiliated and disoriented, surrendered. No human ship was lost, though several pods had sustained minor damage. The battle ended not with destruction but with precision, cunning, and flawless strategy. The Horizon's crew allowed themselves a brief cheer, tempered by the gravity of their achievement. They had faced overwhelming odds and survived, not by luck, not by brute force but by calculation, adaptability, and unity. Across the galaxy, whispers spread rapidly. Zifri observers, previously skeptical, now murmured, "Humans are not merely a species, they are a force that rewrites the rules of war." Even far on Aura, this elder Scorus form shimmered with unease. They anticipated betrayal, disruption, and miscalculation before it occurred. "They are terrifyingly brilliant." Admiral Vance turned to her officers, eyes blazing. "The galaxy has learned one truth today. Humans survive because we are clever, adaptable, and relentless. But the war is far from over. Every civilization we have encountered will now study, fear, and try to anticipate us. We must continue to innovate, adapt, and lead. Mistakes will not be forgiven." Captain Torres whispered, his gaze on the starlit void. "They've seen what humans can do. No one will ever underestimate us again." From shadowed corners of the galaxy, spies, diplomats, and alien news networks carried the same chilling message. The human ship that no alien could stop has rewritten the rules of war in the galaxy. And somewhere, in hidden command halls, coalition survivors swore vengeance. Humans had won today, but the galaxy was vast, and the ultimate tests, both tactical and political, were still to come. The first coalition had been shattered, but the war for recognition, influence, and survival was only escalating. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were architects of destiny, proving that intellect, courage, and innovation could triumph against impossible odds. The galaxy had learned to fear humans. The Horizon's victory against the first interstellar coalition had sent ripples of shock through countless systems. For the first time, species that had dismissed Earth as weak now whispered warnings in their corridors of power. Yet with fame came attention, and with attention came danger that no battle pod or drone could fully protect against. In the dark corridors of the Aura this council, alliances shifted like sand. Not all feared humans for the same reason. Some sought to manipulate them, some to exploit them, and some, more dangerous still, wanted to eliminate them entirely. Admiral Elena Vance, aboard the Horizon, watched the galaxy's currents of influence with quiet calculation. "They will send spies," she said to her officers. "They will test us in ways that are not immediately visible. We are no longer just facing fleets or weapons. We are facing deception on a scale designed to overwhelm the mind." Captain Torres frowned. "Do you mean sabotage? Espionage? Even assassination attempts?" Elena's gaze was steady. "All of the above. The galaxy fears what it cannot control. Humans, by nature, are unpredictable. They'll try to exploit that. But we're ready. Humans survive not only in war but in shadows." Their first hint of the conspiracy came from Zifra Prime. Scientists there reported anomalies in wormhole communications, encrypted messages that had been intercepted by humans, suggesting a covert coalition of alien spies intent on sabotaging human operations. The scope was staggering: hundreds of systems coordinating to disrupt supply lines, plant false intelligence, and assassinate key leaders. Elena gathered her council of human commanders. "They think they can outthink humans in shadows. But humans are masters of adaptation. We will turn the shadows against them. Every spy we detect becomes a source of information, every attack a learning opportunity. Humans do not just survive threats, they convert them into advantage." The Horizon's engineers worked day and night, integrating adaptive AI countermeasures, drones capable of blending into any fleet, and ships that could cloak and appear as asteroids, cosmic debris, or even derelict vessels. Humans were creating a network that anticipated every conceivable betrayal. Then came the warning. An unknown superweapon had been detected on the edge of the Andralian Rift, a massive energy sphere capable of annihilating entire planetary systems. Its origin was unclear, but intelligence suggested it was built by the remnants of the First Interstellar Coalition, secretly backed by rogue factions within the Aurathis Council and Zifri Dominion. Admiral Vance convened the tactical room. Holographic projections of the superweapon hovered in midair, a sphere of pulsing energy the size of a small moon. Analysis suggests this weapon could obliterate entire systems within minutes. If deployed, it could destroy any human stronghold or colony, Elena said. We have no time for direct confrontation. This is not a fight of ships, it is a battle of strategy and foresight. Captain Torres rubbed his temples. Even if we use every drone and pod, we can't physically stop it. The energy output is too massive. Elena smiled faintly. Then we don't stop it physically. We stop it logically, predictively, and strategically. Humans do not only fight with weapons, we fight with the mind. And we are about to demonstrate that in ways the galaxy has never seen. The Horizon deployed a complex network of interstellar decoy maneuvers, sending false fleet signatures to multiple locations simultaneously. Human intelligence, combined with hacking of enemy communication relays, created chaos among the conspirators. The superweapons operators were overwhelmed, unable to distinguish between real human movements and decoys. Then Elena executed a bold move. She infiltrated the superweapons control system with autonomous AI drones capable of mimicking alien neural patterns. They moved silently through the alien network, not as invaders but as observers, gradually taking control of critical functions without alerting the operators. Cliff, observing from Auras, whispered to Skora, "They are everywhere and nowhere at once. They control the battlefield without even appearing." As humans prepared their final maneuver, the conspirators realized too late. The superweapons trajectory, meant to annihilate human colonies, began to redirect itself toward empty systems under human guidance. On the Horizon's bridge, Elena addressed her officers. Phase 1 is complete. Phase 2 begins, extraction and leverage. We let them believe they controlled the weapon while in truth, we control them. Humans survive by turning threats into advantage, enemies into pawns, and danger into opportunity. Within minutes, the entire network of rogue operatives found themselves trapped by their own systems. Communications cut, fleets immobilized, and command structures compromised, all orchestrated silently by humans who had anticipated every move. Even the Zifri strategist Vethal, long skeptical, admitted in a whisper to his council, they have transformed shadows into weapons. Every move they make is precise, and every outcome bends the galaxy to their calculation. Humans, they are not merely strong, they are inevitability. The Horizon emerged unscathed from the Andralian rift. Every human ship, pod, and drone remained intact. The superweapon, neutralized and controlled by humans, now served as a bargaining tool, a symbol of human ingenuity, intelligence, and dominance. Elena addressed her crew. Today we have survived a threat that no one thought could be survived. But survival alone is not enough. We have demonstrated a truth that every species in the galaxy must now recognize. Humans are apex strategists, innovators, and survivors. We adapt. We learn. We prevail. Even far in hidden councils, alien observers whispered in awe and fear. Humans had survived fleets, battles, and now conspiracies that stretched across the stars. The legend of the human ship that no alien could stop had reached its zenith. But shadows always conceal new threats. Somewhere, in uncharted sectors of the galaxy, plans were already being made to challenge humans in ways more cunning, more dangerous, and more unpredictable than anything they had faced. The next chapter, the ultimate battle for supremacy, recognition, and survival, was waiting. The galaxy had seen humans rise, step by step, from a fragile, obscure species to one whose brilliance reshaped entire civilizations. Fleets had fallen, conspiracies collapsed, and rogue superweapons bent under human control. Yet the final test awaited. The Grand Convergence, a coalition of every species that had feared or underestimated humanity, determined to crush them once and for all. The Horizon drifted silently above the edge of the Tyranny's expanse, a star system chosen as the stage for the ultimate confrontation. Hundreds of alien fleets had gathered, each commanded by the galaxy's fiercest warlords, council generals, and mercenary leaders. They had learned from past mistakes. No illusions, no underestimation. Every human move would be countered, every tactic anticipated, or so they thought. Admiral Elena Vance stood on the bridge, eyes sweeping over the projection of the converging fleets. They've learned a lot, but humans adapt faster. We have survived against impossible odds before, and today we will not just survive, we will define supremacy. Captain Torres leaned forward, voice low and tense. Admiral, they outnumber us 100 to 1. Even our decoys, drones, and pods might not be enough. This is unprecedented. Elena's gaze was unflinching. Then we must do what humans do best, think beyond the impossible. They expect strategy, but humans innovate. They expect adaptability, but humans anticipate. They expect courage, and we exceed it. The battle began. Alien fleets surged, their energy weapons painting the void with deadly streaks of plasma. The horizon split into its autonomous pods, each following a unique trajectory, weaving through enemy fire. Drones swarmed ahead, creating decoy fleets, while the horizon's main hull maneuvered with impossible precision. Cliff, observing from Aura's, muttered, "They predict every move. Every calculation aligns. No species should be capable of this." But the humans had more than prediction, they had foresight. Using intelligence gathered from previous encounters, they had pre-programmed scenarios. Every enemy ship, every alliance, every betrayal accounted for. The horizon was not merely a ship, it was a mind operating at a galactic scale. Phase 1. Chaos Engineering. The horizon unleashed decoy fleets in patterns designed to confuse, divide, and mislead. Alien commanders believed they were attacking, but their attacks collided with each other, obliterating ships from their own fleets. Maneuvers that seemed random were actually orchestrated with mathematical precision, turning enemy strength against itself. Phase 2. Psychological Warfare. Through hacked communication channels, humans transmitted strategic misinformation, convincing the alien fleets that they were being outflanked by invisible reinforcements. Panic rippled across the Grand Convergence. Fleets that prided themselves on discipline faltered. Even the bravest warlords hesitated, questioning what they could not see or comprehend. Phase 3. Precision Strike. Hidden human drones infiltrated the fleet's command systems, subtly redirecting energy outputs and weapon targeting. Ships collided, shields failed, and weapons overloaded. The Convergence fleet was collapsing under invisible hands, human hands. And then the final twist. Elena executed the signature maneuver, the move that would secure humanity's apex status. Using wormhole technology, the Horizon transported a section of its fleet directly behind the enemy command lines. Simultaneously, cloaked pods struck from all angles, creating the illusion of overwhelming numbers. The alien commanders realized too late, humans had manipulated their perception of reality itself. Fleets that seemed invincible fell into orchestrated traps, while critical command ships were neutralized without a single human casualty. A Zifri warlord cried out in disbelief, "Impossible, they are everywhere and nowhere at once." Elena's voice echoed across the void, "Humans survive because we anticipate, adapt, and overcome. Today we do not fight merely to survive. We fight to show the galaxy that intelligence, courage, and creativity are the ultimate power." By the battle's end, the Convergence lay broken. The alien leaders, defeated but alive, acknowledged the humans' supremacy. Fleets retreated, alliances shattered, and political structures were forced to reckon with an undeniable truth. Humans were the apex species of the galaxy. In the aftermath, the Horizon returned to the neutral expanse, where human colonies now thrived. Diplomats from across the galaxy arrived, not to threaten but to negotiate, observe, and learn. Humanity's reputation had transformed from underestimated to revered. Elena addressed her crew, her voice calm but proud. "The galaxy has seen what humans can achieve. But remember this, it is not strength alone that defines us. It is our will, our mind, and our unity." Every ship, every pod, every strategy was a reflection of human ingenuity. "Today we have shown the universe what it means to be human." Torres added quietly, "We've faced fleets, conspiracies, superweapons, and shadow alliances. And we survived because we think differently, because we act differently. Humans are not just survivors. We are apex." Across alien worlds, the whispers became proclamations. The species once dismissed as fragile had rewritten the rules of existence. Humans did not merely fight, they commanded the currents of the galaxy, using intelligence, strategy, and courage as weapons greater than any plasma cannon. Elder Scora on Aura this shimmered in awe. Perhaps, no species has ever been like them. They are not merely dangerous, they are singular. Humans may be unsurpassable. And somewhere, in distant, quiet systems, young humans looked to the stars with wonder, inspired by the stories of the Horizon. The legend of the human ship that no alien could stop had been fulfilled, and the galaxy would never forget it. As Admiral Vance watched the stars, she whispered to herself, almost in reverence. Humans were underestimated. Humans were dismissed. Humans were unstoppable. And this is only the beginning. The galaxy had learned the final truth. Intelligence, ingenuity, and indomitable will are the ultimate weapons, and humanity wields them like no species before.